You are live.
And it's still good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a little strange to talk to a computer screen. How many people are online?
6 altogether.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. Well, welcome, everyone. I'm Crystal Keck. I am a real estate broker here at Jones & Company Realty, and we thought it would be a great idea for all of us to come together virtually online and everyone here in the office to talk a little bit about our attitudes and how it defines our real estate business, the altitude of our business. What height are we taking our professionalism? So we understand that this means that your behavior, your interactions with others and the world in general, in other words, are basically your attitude determines your height in life, your professionalism, your success in all areas of your life, right? We have found in this particular real estate market that maybe people aren't being as professional, and how do we deal with that on a day-to-day basis? So I thought I would open it up to everybody to have some conversation about how you're dealing with these things, and maybe we can learn from each other so that we can learn to grow and make it easier for us to get through this segment of the real estate market. The truth is everyone online and here in person, we're preaching to the choir. We want to be the professionals. We want to be the kind people in the industry. But tell me some stories. Tell me some things that you're having concerns with other agents, other brokerages. How do we make ourselves better? How do you deal with these?
It's not hard to make yourself better compared to them.
Sometimes that's true. Give me an example.
Oh, well, this was an owner agent.
Okay.
Don't say the name of the company.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't tell me who, but
No.
Give me an
it's a
example.
one-man show, okay?
oh, you wanna pass it?
Just hold the mic
Perfect.
if you're gonna tell us.
Oh, okay. All right, the house is total trash. I didn't really want the buyer to go. Okay, but she did, all right? And the inspection came out. I mean, she didn't disclose anything aside from the fact that she hadn't lived there. I mean, it had polybutane piping. The roof was totally shot rotten. There was a whole bunch of other things in the house, like water intrusion, and things she had to know about.
But if she never lived there, how do you know?
I don't know. Well, the piping was actually redone when she owned it. She must have known what she got.
Well, that's not a defect either, though.
No, well, can't get insurance. Anyway, she was just like totally creepy. Anyway.
So what could you have done if you were the listing agent in that example? To be
Oh, I would
better?
disclose everything, especially if it was in my own house, because I'm kind of afraid of really getting into trouble.
I agree. And JJ's here with us, and I think it's best for us to over disclose. Don't you think, JJ?
Yes, I
Better than
totally agree. I think
undisclosed.
especially if it's your own property, even though it's not legally a defect like polybutylene plumbing, it's an issue. And you
Yeah.
know it's gonna cause a problem down the road. So the
Right.
more you can be proactive in the beginning, I totally agree. And I think that's a difference of professionalism versus just being legal.
Right. When I take a listing, I mean, I always ask the people, you know, if there's anything wrong. Of course, they always say, oh, no, our house is perfect. But I take a good look around. And I also look at their permits. You know, to see if their air conditioner is 17 years old, I mean, this might be an issue, or, you know, whatever it was, the roof is 20 years old and single tab, and, you know, these things might come up.
I'll give you an idea as well. I review the contracts as they come in, and I look to see what the dates are when escrows and mortgages and things like that. And you've got people who aren't paying any attention to it. They'll make it contingent on financing for 30 days, but yet we're closing 15 days. Hello, how does that work? You know, you have to pay attention to your dates, and the professionals are doing that too as well. Oh, the deposit. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be in there 3 days according to contract. Well, that's a legal thing. It's not just a suggestion.
Correct.
And I think that's where you're talking about. And that's where you have to be more professional.
Yeah, what you state on that contract.
Yeah. And it's the attitude, yeah. And it's about the attitude about how you're dealing with the other agent. This is not an adversarial situation. We should be all working together. We operate primarily as transaction brokers. And even if you're a single broker, you're not wanting to create a fighting kind of situation. If everybody works together, then you can get it over the finish line. If there's a problem towards the end and you've got a good relationship, now you've got some collateral to make it happen. I get to keep that one because my mouth runs too much.
So for those who are joining us now and coming into the conversation, we're talking about how your attitude in this market makes a big difference. And how do we keep a positive attitude when sometimes there's a lack of professionalism in our industry? And what does that look like for us? So I have an example. You list a property and you have agents go inside without an appointment. We hear about that a lot, right? How do we handle that? How do we raise the bar and be professional? We have a broker in the room. You know, JJ, what do you think when we have people go in? We would educate our agents to never do such a thing.
I'd be smacking them if they did.
Yes.
Number one, yeah, well, you can't. And number one, really, it's considered breaking and entering. The agent is actually breaking the law. We sometimes forget that it's not just a product we're selling. It's someone's house. It's a home. And you have to be cognizant of that, and you should be respectful of your customer. You never know if the customer is going to be in the door when you walk in either.
And they are. Oftentimes they're home. They know somebody that's the neighbor that's watching, whatever the case may be. Just because there's a super lockbox does not give you permission to just go in their home. So then you have to, get your frustration out, right? Somehow, and then call the agent. And call them out on it. Like, I'm so sorry. Did you enter my property today? We all know they did because we have the super lock boxes, which are so valuable to us. But how do you address that agent?
Yeah, with still being a professional and not just losing it on them.
Right.
Right.
Your attitude will go very far in this business.
Right. How about the agents that don't ever get back to you when you want to make an appointment? I had that yesterday.
I think it goes back to professionalism, though. If you have a clearly written MLS input, they know how to make the appointment.
Right, no, you did not.
I know that's the challenge.
Why?
Well, that comes into professionalism and wanting to work with other people. I think the realtors are setting up barriers to keep other realtors from showing their property.
You are kidding me.
Oh, you think that they want to do it themselves, and that's it. We've got tools. We've got great tools, right? Showing time, all that. Well, it's like, what did we have? I had to actually call a broker because there was an agent owner who put a coming soon sign on the property. Now, agent, and it was an agent owner. And that wasn't on the sign either. I called the broker and I said, not for nothing, but it says coming soon, et cetera, et cetera. So she agreed to talk to the agent. The next day, there was a for sale by owner sign on it without broker agent. Well, our company policy says you cannot sell your house yourself. You have to do everything through the company. I called the broker and she said, well, I really don't care. I was
a broker's policy.
I was appalled. And I said that's not professional. That's why we're a realtor. I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed that you would even allow someone who claims to be a realtor to not be acting as a realtor. And just like, oh, so bad,
So these are all examples of things that happen. So let me paint you a picture for what we can control, because we can't control anybody else. We can't control any of these things. They're all professionalism. And we can harp about these things that we can't control, but we can control ourselves and how we change our day, right? So those are just some examples. But let's just say you list a property, that same day an agent goes in without permission. You write an offer on a property and there's no disclosures. You go to show another property, there's no instruction on how to get in. All this is happening to you in one day. You're frustrated. How do you keep your attitude in check? How do you keep yourself sane? We want to make sure you guys are living happy, healthy lives. How do we do that? Does anybody have any ways that they find peace? The answer was alcohol. I'd like to see everybody post in the comments online. What are some ways? And truthfully, if you ask most realtors, many of us will say a little bit of alcohol. That will do it for me, or a lot of alcohol. Maybe going to the gym, maybe working out, exercise. I run. I tend to not like to work out at nighttime, but what I find is at the end of a crazy day, it burns off some energy that I need to get out. And after a good run, I do feel better. My attitude is totally different.
Yeah, that's been a new thing for me where I just joined the gym. I noticed if I've had a really long day with a lot of people who are unprofessional and you just want to scream, going to the gym and exerting the energy, or even doing something that's going to exert that negative energy before you have conversations with people can help a lot. Yeah,
being physical, having some physical reaction. And that's the bad part. well, that's it. We get upset right away. And that's our first impulse is to reach out, screech, type something nasty into a text or in an email and all of that. So before you do that, I think this is the biggest thing I've ever gotten from any psychiatrist or anything is stop and take a deep breath. Just breathe for a moment, count to 20 if you can get there. And then think about how you want to respond. Put yourself in their shoes first, because maybe there is a reason that the agent couldn't get back to you. Maybe they were on a boat out in Cayo Costa at 2:30 in the afternoon. I mean, you have to have that life balance. I think that's the other part of it. Don't feel guilty.
Yes.
That when you talk about attitude and altitude, we're so busy right now. And that's what we're talking about. A lot of people who aren't coming even to the class today because they're so busy. You've got to take some time to regenerate. If you don't, you're just going to completely burn out. And then you're going to make the mistake. You're going to type a bad text or you're going to scream at somebody. You might even lose it with your customer who's not understanding the marketplace, right? And they might not, right? But whose responsibility is it to move them from A to B?
Well, in the environment we're in, you can probably share a story that, we heard yesterday about the two agents that got in a fight at a home inspection, but it started to get physical, had to be separated.
That's funny.
And again, your attitude and how your personal being, your surroundings, how you choose to control what's happening is completely your choice. You can choose to type the next nasty text. You can choose to yell at a realtor on the other line, but you shouldn't be choosing to do that. It's a good rule of thumb to think any text you send, any email you send, any phone conversation, if JJ was listening, would you be proud of that conversation that you had? And remember that. And you all see the little memes where you see the text message and they type something out and it erases, and then you type something and it erases again. Sometimes if you're finding yourself going, this doesn't sound professional and polite, walk away. Go for a walk around the block. Change your atmosphere around you because it will change your attitude.
It's never a good idea to make an enemy out of the agent on the other side because you need them.
Yes, and I will give Crystal a lot of kudos. She sends beautiful little emails and thank yous throughout the transaction. It pulls them in and all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, this is cool. Crystal said something nice. And then I get a phone call from somebody said, oh my God, I love working with Crystal. She's a great agent. And we sometimes forget that. We get busy and we just go on to the next one.
That's a good way of getting your offer in, having a good reputation.
Your
Build
reputation is exactly what we're building here. It is.
I'll take your contractors.
Well, and you also said, we need you. Do listing agents need us as buyer's agents? They do not need us. They do not. However, this market will not be here forever. How we treat each other as listing agents, they will remember that when we have a buyer's market and they need us to bring the buyers and the listing agents that were not pleasant, you're going to remember that. Remember how they made you feel. Did anybody post online what they're doing to?
No, they're all here.
Oh.
You guys feel free to let us know what you do to help burn off the stress or.
How do you keep a positive attitude in this market? Obviously, if you're selling all the time, if I sold a house every single time I wrote an offer, I'd have a positive attitude, right? Who cares if there's inspections issues? I'm going to sell the next one the next time anyway. That's not happening, right? We're writing offers, and we're not getting accepted. It's a lot of work for us. Your attitude can diminish. You can feel sad and defeated. How do we create that atmosphere to keep ourselves getting out of bed every day and going to work in a positive way?
Make it like a challenge, like a game. You're gonna get it.
Can you talk a little bit to, because I know the one topic that everybody wanted to talk about today, which you can talk to because you just had this house with the 100 offers. How are you handling, you've got a listing, right? Or from either end, right? You've got a listing, sorry, thanks. So you get a listing and you've got 100 agents, or, most cases right now, you've got 20 agents. They're desperate. You've got the people who are desperately nice, but then you have the people who are desperately aggressive. And how do you handle all of those buyers and emotions of the agents who are being super pushy and super aggressive? You're thinking to yourself, how are you going to get a deal when you're treating me like crap? And you've got 20 other offers. How are you handling all those personalities with the multiple offer situations right now?
Carefully.
Because I do like your email that you sent out to everybody. So aside from covering your conversations with everybody, how you let them down with your breakup letter is my favorite.
Okay, so I'll start there and then work my way up.
Okay.
I think professionalism is all about setting expectations and good communication. We can all agree that it starts there. And so when you have multiple offers, I do notify every single agent that their offer was not accepted. And I politely let them know that I know your efforts, your work was tedious and timely, and you put a lot of effort in it, and I thank you very much. I want the seller wants to be able to accept everybody, but that's just not possible, and I wish you the best of luck. How many of us have wrote offers and you never even know if it was presented? So, that's frustrating. Those are the things that are hard for us. Do I have an absolute obligation to tell every single person? No, but let's raise the bar. Let's be professionals. Let's communicate and set the expectation. So I told everyone in my MLS what to expect. If you make an offer, I will acknowledge receipt. So if you're calling me on the telephone, I'll say, listen, did you email it to me? Yes, I did. Did I email that there was receipt? No, then I didn't receive it. Please make sure you send it to me again, because I know that if I have received it, I'm going to acknowledge it. Simply acknowledging these things as a buyer's agent, would you feel a lot better if the listing agent acknowledged you pretty promptly? Wow. Your attitude automatically in that one deal feels a little bit better. So that communication, that expectation is, now I know we're all working with buyers and sellers, so we're seeing both sides of it. And you can only do the best you can with the multiple offers on the seller side. But I've won a few buyer multiple offers with the same communication. I have had agents say, my seller wanted to work with you. It wasn't the best offer price, but your offer was cleanly written. The concise written offer matters to a seller, especially if you have that analytical engineer or attorney. It matters. What you say to the other agent, how you treated the other agent, as Joanna mentioned, that agent may very well relay that to the seller. How did you make them feel? Were you professional to them? Were you kind to them? Some agents are not. I did list a property in Cape Coral and I had over 100 offers in 2 days. People were not kind to me. I remember that. I truly will remember that. But how do I do in that situation with my seller? I didn't run my mouth to my seller and tell them those things. I simply was black and white. Here is the contract, but that's an attitude thing. I could have very easily slipped into let me tell you what this one said. And let me tell you what this one did. And I don't like them because of this reason. That's not what my seller hired me to do. My seller hired me to go over the contract with them and find the right one. So your attitude and how you present yourself with these are really helpful, but the communication is really, really key to raising the bar in professionalism. Does that help answer what you were thinking as well? I think that we're all faced with this on a daily basis. Can anyone share something positive that they've learned, not a physical activity, not drinking, but something positive that they can share that they've learned helps raise their business in a professional manner, helps their attitude stay positive? Yes.
I think what I'm learning is that you just have to have this bigger picture perspective, which I wish someone told me on day one, because, it does all fall into place and there'll be the next one, and some are difficult and some are easier, but it's just the process. It's just the way the industry works. So just understanding it, there's a bigger picture and you can't get caught up on one or two situations.
I agree. Well, that's your focus.
This too shall pass.
Yeah,
Remember
don't
that?
get beat
Remember
up
that
by
this too shall pass. No
time.
matter what, you wake up tomorrow and it's a brand new day. And I think that's part of it was with attitude and setting the expectations with your customers as well. I love positive affirmations, whether it's a religious kind of thing in the morning or a spirit, some kind of spiritual thing. Every day when you get up, you start the day right. Because if you get up and you're cranky and you've been stressing all night, that's just gonna keep on going through the whole day. So no matter what, thank God, thank you God, I'm on this side of the grass today. It can't get any worse, right? And then just kind of take it from there, and doing that makes some sense. And like what we're doing now here, where we're talking to each other, find an accountability person, not so much for accountability for business, but do an attitude check. Call somebody up at 12 o'clock at lunch, say, hey, how you doing today? What's your attitude like? Just somebody calling up and saying, hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you today. works. I always send little funny pictures and gifts. You guys get all kinds of funny things from me on regular things, dancing monkeys and weird things. But it's just, hey, I was just thinking about you and I wanted to bring a smile to your face. There's nothing better than someone smiling at you. That is the cheapest form of giving a compliment, and everyone will smile back. No one ever growls back when you smile.
I have 3 examples myself. First one is you touched base on it, JJ. Your process, your daily activities, your affirmations. There's a book called Miracle Morning, and it sets you up to get successful in the morning. There's also, and I forget the gentleman's name, but he's the make your bed guy. You know, you get up and make your bed every day. It's supposed to set you up for success. You did one really wonderful thing that day already. Even if the rest of the day doesn't go well, you know you did something really great for yourself. So spending a little time on yourself, getting that attitude right, can bring you to another level in your life personally as well, which helps your attitude at work if you're happy and healthy. Second one is you also touched base on it, but I have a team, and every single morning my team gets on a call together. We talk about our business, where we're at, what transactions are in the pipeline, but they know that that's their safe zone. They can vent to me during that time and no other time.
Renee's on camera and she's like.
Oh, Renee's on camera, right?
She's like, I didn't see her head doing this.
Yes. So Renee works with me. It is 90. And she's in Ohio, in my Ohio office. And the truth is that's their space where I've said, you know, if you want to say, oh, I just don't like this person, and we all have to let it out sometimes, and our spouse is sick of hearing it. But you can let it out with me. You may not talk to any other agent. You may not talk to your customers. You should not be talking to your friends and family. They don't want to know that you don't like your job, because that's what they hear. They don't like their job. They don't want the referrals from me. Don't share those things with them. Real estate is awesome and great. We just have these moments where we're dealing with other agents that are maybe lacking professionalism, and it's frustrating to us. Vent with each other, find a referral or a partner like JJ suggested, and that will really help you. The last thing is, so Miracle Morning, make your bed, that kind of thing. Find a partner to vent with, so you can, you know, leave your shit at the door, so to speak, and then go in. The other thing is what's helped me tremendously with frustrations and my most aggravation with my own clients is they don't respect us as professionals sometimes. So here's what I learned to do, and it's tremendously helped my business. I do a buyer consultation and a seller consultation. My seller consultation is not a listing appointment. It is me finding out if they're a good fit for me to work with them. Sure, there's some listing elements involved there, but I want to make sure their expectations are in check. I want to make sure that they're not going to make me so crazy that I drink every day, right? That I can't do my business for everyone else, because one deal isn't going to make us have a career. Yeah. We need to be a team, and I need to make sure we can do that. Same with buyers. If you don't spend the time on the front end explaining to them, you're going to not receive an acceptance on every single offer you make. There's going to be a few tries here, and that's okay. And you're not wasting my time. I'm happy to work with you. I want you to be happy about the process. The first no is just one step closer to the next yes. And then you're building that up. Otherwise, if you don't do those proper expectations on the front end with your buyers and sellers, they will make you frustrated. They will make you want to yell at them. That's not okay. We can't do that. So in order for us to raise the bar and raise our professionalism, we need to make sure that we're spending the time on the front end with these folks to make sure that we have a positive attitude throughout the process, because there's a lot that's going to happen from beginning to end that is not a straight line, right? Real estate looks like this throughout a transaction. So it takes some time, but if you spend that time with them, you're also building trust. You're building the relationship. Even if you already know that person, those people I actually think you need to spend more time with on the front end when you already know them. Thoughts behind that?
No, it's a good idea with this, that pre-listing appointment. But most sellers are like, I just feel like I'm aligned with the common time pressure. You know, it's like they want robots. Their expectations are, this is what we do.
I think, Chris, Crystal's right, where you said, where you talk about setting expectations, and there's so many good tools. There's great articles like in Florida Realtors and things like that, that you start sending them that kind of information, share that, because it's not you now, it's an expert from somewhere else giving them some information and some guidelines about where we're really going with the market, right? Because you watch NBC and they're saying, oh, this is a crazy market and blah, blah, blah. And then you turn on CNN and they're going, oh, the world is going to crash. So they're absorbing all of this kind of stuff. And then on top of it, they're watching HGTV and DIY, and they think, oh, I should paint my wall purple because that's going to sell my house. So acknowledging where they're getting their stuff, and then kind of take that down and diffuse what they're getting, and sort it through the professional filter. And share it out. Here's what's really happening out in the world.
She hasn't died. I was like, hey.
No, I like the idea of touching base with your customer, like between times, like you said, and sending something that's maybe just a daily affirmation, or just, hey, we're almost through the process. I think those are really good things. I know I have to do more of that personally, because you get in business mode and you're just doing.
I have
doing,
a
doing,
schedule
and you're
for
like,
you.
I'm sorry.
I have a schedule for you.
Oh.
Every Tuesday, clients get an update. Every single Tuesday. I don't care if it's the same update as it was last week, because sometimes it is, right?
Mhm.
They want to hear from you. They want that connection with you.
Yeah.
And then every Thursday, I update the agent on the other side.
Mhm.
They love it. And it helps you get the next deal with that agent. So
That's good.
just put it in your calendar every Tuesday morning and every Thursday morning. That's what you're going to do.
That's a good idea. I actually had a customer do that to me, where she would send me things in the morning. Oh, good morning. Hope it's a great day for you. I'm like, oh, this is great.
How it made you feel?
Yeah, no, it changed. So I'm like, I got to reciprocate. I mean, I did to her, but to do to other people as
Yep.
well.
A system for and that leads me kind of into the next thing I was going to say. You can have a positive attitude, but putting a phony smile on your face and walking around and pretending you're happy doesn't make you happy. This market is wearing on everybody. We feel it, right? So what are you doing for yourself other than, okay, now we're raising professionalism. We're raising our happiness to the other agents, right? We're being professional and kind to them as best we can. We're exercising. We're drinking a little bit. What else can you do to guard your happiness, your positivity, your attitude? For me, I don't work on Sundays. Shocker. An agent doesn't work on Sundays. I guard it with my life. Is there a night of the week, even if you start there, one night of the week, Thursdays at 2:00, you're done working? Could you do that? What do you do for yourself that guards your happiness?
Setting limits I think setting limits.
Yeah.
You're absolutely, and I'm the worst with that, because if somebody calls, I'll pick up the phone no matter what time of the day or night, and I'll try to make sense of it. And I was very proud of myself last night, because I actually had someone who called at 8:30 and wanted some information about a seasonal rental that I had sent them, to be nice. And I actually said out of my mouth, please, you read this, but do not call me tonight. You can call me tomorrow after 9:00 and ask me any questions. My husband fell off the couch because I don't do that. But you're right. You have to set up limits. And I think that the key word is scheduling, not 1 to 1:15. I'm going to do this, because real estate goes that. Set some expectations up with your customers, with your limitations, because let them know.
They know up front that I'm not available on Sundays and that I only work nighttime by appointment only. If they do not have an appointment with me in the evening, they don't get me.
But they also knew that she's got a support system behind her, so that if something does have to be done on Sunday and she can't bend, somebody else from the team is going to be there. That, I think it's communication with them.
We can all make the exception to those boundaries, right? Right. If you demand your doctor take an appointment with you on a Sunday, how do you think it will make them feel? But why do we do that? Why do we let people demand our schedules? It helps with our attitude as a whole overall, right? We started off with these are the things that are happening in the business that are frustrating us, and how do we stay positive when we're worn out? But the truth is our overall health and wellness. What can we do to kind of structure ourselves to stay as happy and healthy as we can through this difficult market?
This is Patricia, by the way.
Hi, Patricia.
For a very long time here.
You just stand up and say hi.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
No.
Successful entrepreneur.
I love your nails.
Thank you. I think everything you guys are saying is very important. I know I struggle for myself with setting limitations. I'm just kind of a people pleaser in a way, and I've learned I'm getting there to set limitations, to start saying no, because it's very hard to please everyone at the same time. But I have my morning. Every morning I like to enjoy my coffee, so that time it's just for me. I do work out, and also Sundays is my day. Like I have kids, and it has always been our day that I don't do any work. Of course, unless it's an emergency, I do that. But I think, learning and from everyone has their own little tricks or whatnot, but learning a little bit from everyone, and it's helping me. So, but those are just
Those
what
are
I
great
do. Yeah.
boundaries. Congratulations
Yeah,
for having
yeah,
them.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And your family appreciates it.
Yes. Mhm.
Right? We all have families and lives.
Yeah.
We have to have it or you're not as happy. We live in Southwest Florida. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
We didn't get into this business because we love shipping companies. We went into business to make money. So that we would fulfill our dreams and take care of our families. And sometimes that's part of the attitude. So we get up in the morning, oh yeah, why am I doing this now? Because some of those people who are so frustrated and you just want to fire them. Okay, take a deep breath for a minute. It's like, why are we in the business? What are we doing? And what our customers are expecting us? Obviously, they hired us because they thought we're going to help them achieve their dreams. So it's our responsibility. And it just sometimes you have to smack yourself, look in the mirror, would you hire yourself? If you look in the mirror and you don't want to hire yourself, you need to go back to bed and then get up again.
On the other side.
And then get back up and have that little bit of an attitude adjustment,
Here's a boundaries example. Who wants to respond to your emails all night long so you don't have to do it tomorrow morning?
I do that.
Right?
I don't know
We
why.
do. I don't want to
I
have to
wake
do
up
it
like
tomorrow.
2:30 to 3:30 every single night. I don't know why. I'm wide awake. I'm like, there's nothing else going on. Let me read my emails.
Great. Most emails have a scheduler. And if not, there's free, extensions that you can do. Set them for 9 a.m. the next day. Do them all. Get them off your plate. Even if it's between dinner or you're watching the kids at a recital or whatever it is. Send them for 9 a.m. tomorrow during business hours. Because if you allow them to see that you work at 2 a.m, they will call you at 2 a.m. They will. So create those boundaries. Create your safe zone so that you can have happiness. But you're not stressed the next day that you have to get on all of these emails and look up all this stuff. You could do it outside of those hours. I'm not saying I don't work in the evening, but I set myself up for my time so that they're not controlling me. And it does help with my attitude.
Mhm. Yeah, you're running your life and your life isn't running you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I'm not letting my clients run me. I'm not letting other brokerages and agents run me. And that really helps because those are the people that we deal with every day, our clients and other agents. Right? We all got into this business to be our own boss, right? How many has more than one boss? Every one of our clients. So the truth is you're trying to cater to all the different personalities, whether you're cooperating with another brokerage, whether you're working with a buyer or seller or investor. It's a lot for us to handle and it's a difficult market. So we're just trying to make sure everybody's living their happiest, healthiest life and raising the attitude bar really, really high so that we're the best self we can be.
I think one way that you can also feel more comfortable in your attitude is if you have knowledge and information. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're faking it, it raises your stress level up, your attitude becomes less than positive. So when we're talking about scheduling, put some time in there to get some education. Like we've got a resort second home specialist 1-day course at the board. Take a look at that. Maybe sign up for that. That gives you some more tools in your toolbox. Even if you never sell a resort or a second home, you've at least have some information. You can discuss it when you have your buyer and seller consultation. And that does make a huge difference. Every time I get a class and I learn something more, then all of a sudden I feel more confident in what I can do. And when I'm confident, then my attitude is a whole lot better. I mean, when I first started in real estate and I did a listing presentation, I was like really, really, really nervous because they were going to ask me a question that I didn't know the answer to. And I wasn't going to say, I don't know, because I know everything. I'm the real estate agent. That's,
As soon as you pass that test, you're the expert.
you're the expert. Exactly.
expert.
Yes.
But you still need more training.
And
Show of hands who has and I want to see everybody online too. Somebody raise your hand if you can see their faces or comment. Who has a designation or a certification? Good for you. Alphabet soup, I call it. You know, the alphabet after your name, all those letters. I think it's really good education. It's not about the alphabet soup after your name. It's about learning how to serve one little segment of your business a little bit better. Oh, excellent.
for Betsy.
Wonderful. They're helpful. They really are. And you're right. In a stressful, busy market, it's hard to take time out of our day to go do these classes, but you can do them online. I'm going to do the vacation second home one. I'm a little bit of a junkie and I have lots of them also. I even have my MRE, my master's in real estate. So I'm kind of obsessed with getting them because I like to learn. But truly just taking a deep breath, answering that phone call, responding to the person that's yelling at you. Don't be the yeller back.
Even if it's sarcastic, like the thing that always like in this industry or any things or any industry, I'm the person that constantly in my head repeats kill them with kindness. And it almost becomes like sometimes it is sarcastic in my head, like when you have somebody who just doesn't even deserve your kindness. I am just like, kill them with kindness, kill them with kindness. And you just grin, you bear through it regardless, but that's going to avoid a lot of confrontation with anybody.
It's difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier said than done.
Yeah. But I just repeat it until my mouth opens.
How many times are you successful?
Oh God, I would say 90% of the time. The only time I'm not successful is driving around Lee County right now because I'm not killing anybody with kindness on the roads. But in transaction, I find myself repeating kill them with kindness. And you do have to breathe and repeat that to yourself, which helps you with the whole breathe before you open your mouth part. But breathe, think that to yourself, and then open your mouth. And I think that's the important thing, is waiting to open my mouth until it's not reactive.
Killing them with kindness is super awesome. I've actually gotten 2 of my last buyers under contract. I seriously think that this had a huge role in both of them. The list agent had an open house because they're doing that now, right? You list it and we're having a Thursday all day open house because it's basically going to be a revolving door anyway. So I'm just going to sit there and make sure the house stays secure, that sort of thing. And I'm going to the open house. I'm introducing myself. I'm having conversation with them. This is who I am. I want to look you in the eye and let you know that I will successfully help you get to closing. This is who my buyer is. This is what we want to accomplish. And I've gotten 2 offers. No, is that the only reason? No, my buyer made good offers. It's all about what is right for the seller, but the agents had a connection to me somehow, some way. It wasn't a piece of paper. So whenever you can and you're seeing they're holding an open house, go talk to them, get some face-to-face time. We don't see each other anymore when we co-broke.
No, it's a relationship business.
It is. It is. And I also feel like if something does come up, we can talk better in the future about those challenges. And I can kill them with kindness, but I'm killing them with kindness before we get started. The best I can. So these are all just little tips, but the truth is it's a struggle out there for all of us to stay happy and healthy. We're all nodding our heads here and I'm sure they are online. Yeah, it is a lot of work for us, but we value you here at Jones & Company Realty.
Yes, we do.
And we just want to make sure that you know that we're all here for you guys to discuss your health and wellness. Okay, I wasn't sure, you looked like you had a question, but that's the truth, right? So find all these different ways where you can set boundaries, find the ways where you can take a walk around the block, deep breath, and be professionals. Be the best you can be out there because we know it's hard and we know you're working the best you can.
Post some takeaways today on your team Facebook page that we have, because everybody can pick up and that way you'll start getting some relationships with each other too.
Yeah, because we're sending referrals across with each other all over.
And our Facebook group, from like a technology point, for those that don't know, our Facebook group is a safe space. The only people who can see what you post inside of that group are our agents. There's nobody else allowed in that group, and the group is completely private. Now you still have to apply your ethics, but if you need a place to say, hey, has anybody ever experienced this? How did you handle it? we're all here for each other. And that's a great place to, I don't want to say complain or to, air your dirty laundry of issues you're having. But if you need a moment to breathe and you're like, I just don't know how to deal with this person, we're all here for you on that group. And you can certainly have conversations and we can post about it. We can talk about maybe one of us has dealt with a difficult situation like that before. So we can help each other out on that group because it is private. And then, your friends and the people, your past customers and anybody you're friends with on Facebook is not going to see that. That is a safe space.
Yeah, and sometimes there's language barriers too. If you're dealing with someone from another country, even though they speak English, well, you might come to that point in there. Keep in mind, there's so many of us in Jones and Company that speak all different kinds of languages. You speak German. Barb speaks German. Patricia speaks Spanish. Do you speak Portuguese too? Spanish. Steve speaks Chicago. You guys. There you go.
No, I think that's everything. I just wanted to make sure we all had just an avenue where we could talk about it. I love being able to put in there because somebody might say, oh, I have this great tool. I use this. It's a really valuable resource for us to all be able to share and support each other and communicate.
And use the physical space that we have at Jones and Company Realty, because sometimes you just get frustrated working out of your house. You need a change of scenery. Just come on over to the Cape office, come over to the Fort Myers office, or the Cleveland, Ohio office. We'll be doing some remotes from there soon. And then that way you can get out, and sometimes just changing your atmosphere, your whole environment just changes your attitude, and fresh ideas come out. I mean, I love to come over here sometimes at 7 o'clock in the morning and just like, hey, nobody's around here. I don't have to clean it. I don't have to do dirty laundry or any of that kind of stuff. And I can just focus on something else. And that's why we created the businesses. And now we need a little plug for what we're doing. We all have a second story up on the Fort Myers office. We just got all our equipment for our podcast studio that we're going to be putting together. And we're working on our video studio as well. So you're going to see some really cool changes and exciting things that are coming up for you. So
Podcast channel where we interview each other.
we're going to give you all kinds of cool tools and training. Yes, podcast class next week. Yes. So we're giving you tools. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the idea. Because
that's for it, but having interview like an interaction.
We're going to cover all of that.
there you go. See, now we got your brain thing. Now the endorphins are kicking in. And when endorphins kick in, then the attitude comes up. So don't eat turkey today because then you have tryptophan and then you want to go to sleep. So, sugar, Starbucks, sweetener. I won't say alcohol, even though it has sugar in it. But yeah, please post everything out on the team page and let us know things that you've taken away from it, what you've used, what's working, what's not working, because we're all going to learn from each other. So every one of our little sessions, we always end with peace out.
I just ask something like,